This station is now the ultimate power in the universe.
We would be honored if you would join us.
It is another Thursday night, not to be confused with the last Thursday night where we weren't on the air because I was out sick. This is the Thursday night where we are on the air. Docking Bay 94. Yeah. I am Sean Obi-Shawn Crosby.
This is Jess Donoho.
I'm Colleen Kaylee Crosby.
And you could be listening to us over on sci-fi.radio. It's sci-fi for your Wi-Fi. Type that right into your browser and poof, you will get our cool webpage. It's easy as that. Or you could be watching us on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitch. Any of those things are perfectly acceptable. And, gosh, sorry we were out last week. It was certainly unplanned.
Yeah.
We hadn't planned for it at all. I'll tell you, it was weird. I got the hiccups, which in and of itself is not weird. And I've had them all my life, and they've been fairly serious, and they've lasted for several days. When I was a kid. I think the longest I had them was for 7 days.
Gotcha.
But as a kid, you're pretty resilient, and you're like, the hiccups, and your friends point and laugh, and you're like, meh. And, you know, after a while, you consider, like, maybe I'm going for a Guinness Book of World Records or something, until it gets really, really annoying. And then eventually they go away, and you're happy, and life goes on.
Yeah.
This time, I went to Disneyland last Wednesday. Big surprise. And I met up with Trevor and with Kit. Trevor was ending his shift.
Okay.
Kit was picking him up. And I thought, let's go to dinner. And we didn't go anywhere fancy. We went to Jack in the Box.
Okay.
And so we're sitting around, we're talking, we're getting ready to leave. And I'm in the car. And I'm talking, and I get the hiccups. I breathe wrong, whatever it was. And just and we're like, haha, funny hiccups. Yeah, I get them all the time, whatever. Came home, couldn't shake them, couldn't shake them the next day, and you know, you hiccup after a while, it really hurts.
Yeah.
And then, the following day, the third day, they're still going on,
Yeah.
and they're not funny, they're not cute. It hurts. It really hurts. It's like you're going through the absolute worst workout, and then it also has this kind of Chinese water torture effect, where it's like, you have to stop. You have to stop. This is driving me nuts. It was absolutely great. And so I'm up in the kitchen at 2 a.m. and on Thursday night, and I'm like, I'm trying not to wake up Colleen because it's driving me nuts and it hurts so much.
Oh dear.
And that, of course, we had called the show off that night because of the hiccups, because I'm no fun when I'm in pain. Who is really? But Friday, we sat down to watch The Last Starfighter on the occasion of its 39th anniversary or whatever it was. And we make it halfway through the movie, and I just can't take it.
Yeah.
And Colleen's like, we got to go to urgent care or something. This is nuts.
Yeah.
And so we pile into the car, and we head off to urgent care, which was closed by the time we got there, at 9:30.
Okay.
It closed at 9. And so we take the shorter walk around the corner to the ER. And they admit me in there. And I spend 8 hours in the ER, mostly drugged out of my mind.
Oh,
because
there you go.
They gave me medication. Poor Colleen.
They didn't give me any medication.
Right.
You know, share the wealth. You know.
Poor Colleen had to sit there for 8 hours reading books on her phone. Which, you know, isn't bad. She does that all the time. But she didn't get any rest. And this is in one of the crappy exam rooms. She couldn't even lay on the bed because I was laying on the bed.
Yeah.
It was really bad. And so for me, I would wake up and I would be being wheeled somewhere. Or they would make me wake up as much as I could to get into the CT scanner. And things like that. Because honestly, they didn't know what was going on either. And in addition to the hiccups, I was salivating buckets.
Oh.
I mean, seriously. I have one of these cups, easily filled it over the course of the night. It was really gross. And Colleen would get a third to halfway full, and Colleen would take it from me and empty it out in disgust. It was really awful.
I didn't have any disgust, but that's just your opinion of how I was emptying it. I was more concerned about knocking it over.
Yeah.
I didn't want to have to clean it up.
To be perfectly fair, Colleen was like absolutely amazing, and I feel that she has had more than her share of time in the emergency room over the course of our relationship.
Yeah, I mean, I've had my fair share.
Yeah.
I think the scariest point of Sean being sick this time was that the doctor came in. They wheeled him out for a CT scan, and when he came back, they didn't put the pulse thing on his finger.
Oh.
And they had noted earlier that his pulse was really high. But, what do I know? And they wheeled him back, and they didn't put the pulse thing on, and I'm sitting there watching him, and his neck is vibrating.
Oh.
Like, right here. It's just
Like pulsing, yeah.
Yeah.
vibrating. More than pulsing, it was vibrating. It was weird looking. And so the doctor had been saying that if he could get up and walk to the bathroom without falling over because he was so drugged up, then he could go home. And he did that, and it was fine. But I was worried about, his neck is just vibrating. I feel like his pulse might be a little bit high.
Yeah.
So I went over and I put the pulse thing back on his finger, and his pulse was going up, way up, way down, way up, way down. And I was like, that's not good. So then they came back in, and they decided to give him an additional IV. And then over the next, hour and a half or 2 hours, I don't know how long it took to get this IV in him. But as it was going down, his pulse, first it stabilized.
Yeah.
And then, but it was still way too high. And then it started to very slowly come down. As the IV is going in, the pulse is coming down commensurate with it. So it was...
It was really weird. I didn't know about the bathroom thing. That makes it sound like kung fu or something. When you can grasp the toilet paper from the roll, it will be time for you to leave.
She just didn't want you to... He put this picture on Facebook of fall risk on his thing. And he was dizzy, and so they were really concerned that he was going to fall over.
Oh, boy.
And I was only a fall risk because I was lightheaded, because I couldn't breathe, because in addition to having the hiccups, I got an asthma attack because, strangely, it's hard to breathe when you have these violent hiccups compressing your chest.
Yeah.
But what was really interesting, when I was a kid, I used to have hiccup medicine, and it came in a, you know what a pint flask looks like? It's a big flat square bottle with a cap on it.
Yeah.
It looked like that, but it was dark brown glass.
Yeah.
And it had a little label on it, and it honestly looked like they dug it up from 100-year-old pharmacy and went, "Oh, look, here is a hiccup remedy we will give you." Because honestly, nothing made them go away. All of the hold your breath, drink water upside down, stand on your head,
Tasty snake oil,
dance around, get scared by people, whatever. Nothing worked.
Wow.
So they gave me this stuff, which I think it's called chloropropazine, and I may have that wrong. But what it really is for is it is an antipsychotic. It's for kids with ADHD. It's for schizophrenics. It's and all I'm thinking of is no wonder my parents loved this stuff.
So that's
They're
when
you should take your hiccup medicine.
Is that when you lost your imaginary friend?
Yes,
Okay.
you're right. He's in that little bottle still.
Right.
But anyway, that's what they gave me at the hospital by IV. They tapped into the IV with this medicine, and then they sent me home with pills of it. Thank goodness, because God, the liquid was just vile. It was really terrible. And you read Tom Sawyer and stuff, and they're like, oh, and they fed him cod liver oil, which was terrible. And I mean, this was my cod liver oil. It was the worst stuff. And so now I have it in pill form, which I haven't needed to take, thank goodness, because when the hiccups threaten to come, I get one, and then I just like sit and I calm down, and then like they never rectify, which is like really, they just go away. But oh my God, and I felt so bad for missing the show and calling it off.
Yeah.
But it was the worst, and you wouldn't want to hear me talking with this, hic every couple of seconds, and honestly, by the time we got to the ER, I was at the level where it hurt so much it would be like hic ow. It was like the Simpsons episode.
Oh no,
it was really bad. But anyway, things are fine now. I'm still sore, believe it or not. Days later, I went to the chiropractor the other day, and I mentioned to her, like, be careful, don't like push too much on my chest, because everything hurts, like radiating, and it really felt like cardiac arrest. It felt like I was having a heart attack.
Oh boy.
And I told Colleen, I'm like, I feel so stupid for going to the ER. And then she pointed out like a long list of 7 or 8 things that are life-ending that could be foretold by hiccups. It's like if you have hiccups, you could have liver disease, liver failure,
diabetes, cancer.
I mean, all this kind of stuff.
Parkinson's.
Seriously, there's like this whole long list of terrible
And
things.
Sean said to me at one point before, while I was trying to convince him to go to the ER, he said, "Well, I don't know what they're going to do." And I said, "Well, that's the point.
Yeah.
They're the professionals. They know what to do, and we don't. That's why we visit them."
Well, and I'll tell you what was really interesting, and this is what happened when I had my kidney stone too. We went back for a follow-up appointment. I went Monday, I guess Tuesday, whenever I went.
Yeah, Tuesday.
And so I go into the doctor, and the doctor's like, hiccups. And then he looked at everything they did in the ER. And so the ER visit cost me $200. So thank goodness for really good insurance. All of the stuff they did, like CT scans and all this kind of X-rays, all this kind of stuff, it cost like $200 to do.
Okay.
Which I wasn't happy to pay, but it was needed. So my doctor's looking at this stuff. He's like, "What did they do to you? Look at all of these tests. This is absolutely nuts." And so he ran through. He's like, "You know how to get your money's worth at the ER, because they did everything to you."
And I think the reason that they did was because the combination of the hiccups and the saliva, which was a lot of saliva.
It was absolutely the worst.
It was
side
like
effect
Sean
I've ever
turned
had.
into a Saint Bernard.
Oh my God, it was awful.
I
was like,
they had never, the doctor and the nurse, neither one of them had ever seen that before, and so they were concerned about what would make this happen.
Yeah.
And they were looking for tumors, actually.
Oh, yeah.
That's why they did a CT scan. They were afraid there was a tumor.
Well, it was tumor, and then apparently they were also worried about
heart attack.
Hiatal hernia. Is that what they call it?
Yeah, and a hiatal
Which
hernia.
basically is the valve that shuts off the acid from your stomach, and if that valve was broken or failing, and the acid was coming up into my system, that would cause me to drool a lot too.
Yeah.
But yeah, have you seen Hamilton?
Yep.
The King? I was like at king level drooling,
there you
man.
go.
It was bad.
It was pretty gross.
It was, and so like I walked in with my own spit cup, and they're like, "What you drinking?" I'm like, "No, it's not drinking." Anyway, the doctor that I saw on Tuesday is my normal GP, and he said, "I tell you, for all the tests you got, at least you have bought phenomenal peace of mind, because you don't have blood clots, you don't have an aneurysm, your heart system doesn't have a lot of plaque in it." He basically ran down the whole list of all the terrible things that I should be expecting at my current age that I don't have, which is great. So, beyond being tubby and looking like a melting ice cream, I'm actually in pretty good shape. So that made me very happy. It was good to know. And the hiccups are gone, and I'm not drooling. And it's really the little things.
And now everybody knows way too much about Sean's health.
So, like, who knew the hiccups were the death by grab bag?
Well,
attached to
I mean,
it. So.
honestly, Dr. Google. Really. Dr. Google, I have a hangnail. Let me look that up. I'm going to die.
Yeah.
It's the curse of WebMD,
So-
where you're like, oh my God,
boy.
this is gonna kill me.
Yeah.
But to have the ER department go, it was good you came in.
Yeah.
Makes me
good.
feel better.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
But that's why we missed the show. I'm sorry. We're gonna play pickup today, and it'll
We're
be
going to
just
play pickup sticks?
fine.
Yeah.
Yay!
Yes.
Just throw a bunch of cards on the floor and
But we don't.
Oh, 52 pickup. I'm out.
That's 52.
I do not want to play 52 pickup.
And we play pickup at the end of the night where we try to clean for 10 minutes
Right.
before we go to bed.
Right.
oh boy. Yeah. I've had hiccups. I've actually, like everyone has their own. Here's my remedy. Here's my remedy. Here's my.
Right.
Yeah. One of them actually did work for me, and others didn't. So it's the weird one I told you about that really shouldn't work for anything.
Oh.
And it's a matter of you take a pen or a pencil.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what it is. And you put it.
Shove it up your nose,
you go
up to the
across.
eraser.
You just bite it between your teeth and you hold basically so it's holding these all the way back
Yeah.
and hold it. Then drink some water.
Yeah. I tried
And
that.
it forces you to do something different when you swallow and such. So,
Yeah.
but it does, but it worked for me. But it's for me. It doesn't work for everybody. That's why it's all weird. Everyone's different.
So Colleen had me breathe into a paper bag,
Oh.
which worked once, and then it didn't work the other 8 times I tried it.
Well, and I think that you were getting frustrated and breathing too fast into the paper
Yeah.
bag.
Well,
part of the thing is to slow your breathing down.
I was trying everything. I tried really super slow. I tried really super fast. Like it was all conscious attempt, because I'm like, okay, breathing normally didn't work.
Yeah.
Breathing really slowly didn't work. Now I'll try breathing really, really fast, and maybe I'll hyperventilate and get it
And
done.
he did.
Something's got to work.
Yeah, it was pretty terrible.
Yeah.
Woo.
So Jeff, what did you do last week or two?
Just the normal stuff at home and with puppy and gardening and the fish.
The fish.
Yes, I have a Siamese fighting fish or beta fish that's that Owen gave me for Father's Day. I think it's Father's Day, and I named it Mirai, and it's named after the little owl that hangs around with Ahsoka in Star Wars.
Right.
The little
Nice.
owl-like creature, because we have the puppy Ahsoka. So
Right.
that's, and I probably have a picture somewhere. Let's see. So, gosh, the week before, I don't remember what I even did the week before. God,
Well, you
dang.
did that Ghostbusters thing, which was
Yeah, so-
I wanted to go to, and then I didn't because
of
sick.
this. So this
Yeah.
weekend, the weekend before, I have no idea what the hell I did. But this past weekend was Carnival. It was called, I think, Carnival for Kids.
That's better than carnivore for
Yes,
kids.
that's a little. Yeah, I mean, you never know. I mean, Yoshi. And I went to that, and I was gonna wear the. It was with the Ghostbusters. I was there with the orange kind of Ghostbusters.
Mhm.
I was gonna wear the Vince Clortho, costume loose totally,
Yeah,
and that involves,
a lot of hairspray.
pants, wool pants or similar to wool pants. Then there's a T-shirt, and then you put this sweatshirt thing on. It's not a sweatshirt. It's like a tracksuit jacket or something. And then there's a long sleeve shirt that goes over that. And since it was unbearably hot, I didn't do that.
What did you do?
So I was there, and while we were setting the booth up or the area up, Andy was going through her car, and she had most of the stuff. She keeps with her, and so she was unloading it all, and we're setting it all up, and she's like, "I've got this jumpsuit, and I don't really want to keep getting it in and out of the car. It's loaner jumpsuit," and they're all they basically ended up giving it to me.
Oh.
So now I have an actual Ghostbusters jumpsuit, and that's what I wore
See, you didn't tell me that. You didn't say she gave me the jumpsuit and that's what I wore for the event. You just said, "Oh, they gave me a jumpsuit."
See.
I'm like, well, that's cool.
New information.
Right.
So I wore that, and that was cooler, but still really hot. Still dying.
Yeah.
So I spent as much as I could in a shaded area of the little booth, but it was so humid and hot. It's like it almost didn't matter where you stood, but it was slightly better under the shade.
Jeff was a wilting flower.
Yeah. But yeah, we just it's there.
It's black on all the channels.
Weird.
Can you guys hear us?
Okay, I reset a bunch of stuff.
I mean,
Are
there
we
we
back?
go. Hey, we came back.
Okay.
Yeah, it came back up.
Excellent.
All right. Good.
Yeah. So I got that, and now I've got a good basis for the jumpsuit costume right now. I just have to get a few more things, and there you go.
Yeah, there's a few things I need to get, like the gadget, the belt gadget.
Yeah.
Or belt gizmo, or whatever they call it.
Yeah, the stud finder thing. That's something else, whatever it is.
Do you have a jumpsuit suit, Sean?
It's right over there.
Oh yeah, look at that.
And so
I need a jumpsuit.
which means Colleen needs a jumpsuit. Which I was going to ask
Which
you
one?
earlier. Do you want a jumpsuit like that, or do you want the female variation?
No.
Or the
No?
There's
Okay.
also a gray one too.
Well, I mean, if it's from the last movie, then yes. If it's from the movie before that, then no.
Okay.
I don't want the neon
Yeah.
So
tape on it.
what
and
we
stuff.
can do is we can take you down to our local Army Navy surplus store,
Yep.
Yeah.
and you can try some on and get one.
So this is
Groovy.
like Ghostbusters 1 and Ghostbusters Afterlife. Is
Yes.
This one. Ghostbusters 2, they switched to gray.
It's
and then the
too
other one
bad
is
we
different.
don't have time to do it before Costume College, because that would be
Yeah.
fun to do as a Thursday night costume.
Well, I mean, we kind of do. I mean,
Yeah.
Maybe.
I've got a pack that you can wear, and all we need is basically you need the pistol belt, boots, and the thing. I would have to order you tonight the name tapes,
Yeah.
but I got
Should
mine.
we attempt it?
I got mine really fast. Let's do it. Maybe that's what we should do
I
when
just
we do
need
the
I
show
just
next
need a name
week.
tape.
Maybe when we do the show next week, we should all be Ghostbusters.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. I just have to get a name tape for
Yeah,
mine.
the show next week is at
In the belt,
Costume
probably.
College.
Right. That's what I mean. Let's.
Okay, that's what I meant.
So let's
Yeah,
try
there
to
you go.
get you set up.
That's the only time that all three of us. I mean, I'm not going Ghostbusters for the gala.
No. let's try
Aw,
to get
come
it.
on.
Let's try to get it done in time for
Yes.
the show next week, and then we'll all be Ghostbusters.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now
There
a
you go,
plan
folks.
is born. Excellent, because that was going to be something that I was supposed to talk to you guys about tonight, and I
Okay.
totally forgot.
There we go.
Kelly says you should dress as the Annie Potts character, Janine.
Oh, I would do that.
We need to get you the crazy glasses. Although
Right.
your glasses are purple, they're kind of nice. They're kind of not
They're
bad.
not big enough.
No, they aren't big enough.
She has the 80s glasses
She does
that are
have
like,
giant 80s
"Mom."
glasses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the cartoon ones are wilder.
I might have a pair of those for my oh no, they're really thick Coke bottle glasses. The
Oh.
Harry
Trelawney's
Potter.
or something?
Yeah.
Trelawney glasses?
Yeah.
Yeah, I almost bought you because I saw it at the auction and they went for about $5, but I didn't buy them. Inevitably, they were absolutely perfect Edna Mode glasses,
Oh,
fun.
man.
and they were real. They were like legit glasses,
Wow.
and they were the perfect circle Edna Mode glasses. I almost
Nice.
got them. I almost didn't do it though.
No
Wow.
capes.
Cool. So other than that, I went on Tuesday night. I went to an in-person sewing circle a week ago Tuesday. And while I was at the sewing circle, a friend said, "Hey, are you going to the Adrian lecture in Culver City?" And I said, "There's an Adrian lecture in Culver City?
Yo, Adrian!
Send me the information." So Adrian is a costume designer that worked for, he did the costumes for, the women's costumes for The Wizard of Oz.
Yeah.
And started doing costumes in the 1920s for movies and went up through the 40s. Maybe
And-
into the early 50s.
And he
think.
was like very like you see that certain designers do certain celebrities because they're hyper fashionable. He was like that.
He actually designed a dress that became world famous for, and I meant to go look it up when I was talking to somebody about it yesterday, but it became world famous for the character that wore it in a movie. And so it was named by, the Susie Smith. That is not the name of the character. That's my fake.
Yeah.
This is Susie Smith.
Yeah. And at any rate, and Adrian was also the person who put big shoulders on some of the actresses.
Joan Crawford. and
Thank
stuff
you,
like
Joan
that.
Crawford.
Gotcha.
I'm a terrible person to relay stories. I don't remember names for. Saved my life.
Starts with a B.
At any rate, it was when Sean asked me what the lecture was, because I asked him if he wanted to go. I was dubious that he would want to go because I didn't read the description of the lecture. I was just like, a lecture in my neighborhood about fashion? I'm there.
Yeah.
And I thought it was about him as a fashion designer, which he did after he was a costume designer.
Okay.
And it was actually about his relationship with Culver City. And so the costumes that he designed for studios that were in Culver City.
Oh,
Like MGM was the primary studio
Yeah.
there.
And not Selznick. I don't remember.
Selznick.
Selznick,
who
okay.
did Gone with the Wind was there too.
Yeah, but there was a third director that's really super famous that he worked for as well. And he became a designer very, very early.
Huh.
Like when he was still a teenager.
Wow.
His designs were so impressive to the powers that be, the people who were doing the movies, that they loved it. And so he designed a few movies, and then he got, I believe, a scholarship to learn in Paris. And so
Oh.
he flew over to Paris, learned what they had to say, came back to the U.S. to be a costume designer again, and magazines used to regularly advertised that he was a Parisian designer. And so, but he's actually from Connecticut.
Nice.
And he died fairly young too, so kind of a sad
Well,
story.
and so when you watch old movies, if you're an old movie fan and you're running past the credits, very frequently they did something very interesting because he was such a big name and sort of became the public's ideal of what a costume designer was because he was so rooted in fashion that his signature had really huge cachet to it. And so it would be, gowns by Adrian and this big floral signature that was his actual signature that would like show up in the credits.
They put that in the credits
which was
instead
really
of
funny.
a title. They gave him his signature.
And one of the things that was really interesting about him that made him like huge as a designer is that during World War II there were fabric rationing and you couldn't do the kind of big, gigantic, amazing sort of clothing that you would like to do, big flowy, swirly skirts and all that kind of stuff. Everything got limited down. He found ways to be really glamorous within those guidelines of World War II. And that is what made him really huge because the general public could look at his designs and go, I could do that. I could copy that. I could be that fashionable within the limits that they're doing.
The dress, which we won't really recognize the name now, it was called Letty Linton dress. And it was like the Sears catalogs and all of the places where you would buy clothing had a version of the Letty Linton dress. And it wasn't just the Letty Linton dress. They had like the Letty Linton nightgown, and and they were all based on this one dress. Really big, fluffy shoulders, and then a tight waist, and then flared out at the very bottom.
Here I'll show you a picture of it. I found a picture of it. One of the interesting things too is that he did he dressed Valentino movies. He did
Jean Harlow,
Greta Garbo, all sorts of great stuff. Let's see. I got.
But what was interesting was that
this is the dress.
Before movies were in color, designers only had to have the sign-off of the director and the actor who was going to wear the outfit. So he had a lot more freedom, and then color came in, and all of a sudden, the costumes had to be run by all these different departments. And that was kind of why he stepped back from designing for movies, because it became really frustrating to have to, have the lighting director say you can't use that color.
Ooh, now we know who to blame for Glinda the Good Witch.
Yep.
That dress that shows up all the time and stuff, which is really funny.
And there is, in fact, an Adrian dress in the Culver City Historical Society Museum, which is one room. Which is in the Veterans Memorial Building in Culver City.
And when Colleen came back, she made a really interesting point that one of the slides that they showed at the end of the lecture involved Rachel from Blade Runner.
Yes.
Because she had a very angular fitted suit. One that Jerry, I think, recreated for one costume college.
She did a really great job.
The dress I'm showing right now has similarities to that, and this was a standard Adrian silhouette that he created that they copied in Blade Runner to give a cool 1940s noir vibe in the movie. They specifically ripped him off to make their really awesome costume.
He had already passed away, so he didn't really care.
Right, he didn't care. It wasn't a thing. But anyway, it sounds cool after the fact. There's part of me that I'm like, sorry I missed that. But I'm also glad that you got to go and have fun with friends, and I wasn't in your way.
Sean got to do a lot of little work on some costume stuff, and so that was nice to see him getting back to that.
I did. I've actually been really busy on a bunch of stuff this week where I did... I aged my Grail diary for Henry Jones Sr., for Indy's dad. I got today a suitcase that I think is going to work for his cool, beat-up, crummy suitcase.
Yeah.
I missed out on a really great one because I dragged my feet too long trying to find out if they would ship to the United States.
Yeah.
Because it was beautiful and it was cheap, and I'm like, oh my god. So I hope somebody good got it. And then so I went out and got that today. I got parts for my car. I've been working on all sorts of little tiny projects all over the place. And it is kind of nice to do that. I feel I'm tired, but I feel a little motivated. Maybe it's just all the medicine they pumped in me in the ER. But I'm like, cool, let's get some stuff done.
Yay.
Yeah.
Hey, let's talk about or Jeff, did you have anything else? I didn't cut you off of any. You talked about all your stuff.
No, I think I'm good.
And Sean, you're all good.
Yeah.
I'm all good. Let's talk about Star Wars.
Let's talk Star Wars, baby.
Let's all go to the Star Wars. Let's all go to the Star Wars.
I miss our music, but every time I play the music, we get dinged.
Yeah.
Somebody write us some cool music, man. Cool Star Warsy music.
Star Warsy music. July 18th, 1933. That is when Sid Mead was born. And he did a.
Speaking of Blade Runner.
Yes, Blade Runner, and he worked on Star Wars. Worked on Star Wars actually. So Mark worked for like the Visions and whatnot. Was in the Star Wars Visions, I mean.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah.
And then, like Sean mentioned, Blade Runner. Looks like they used some of his stuff again for Blade Runner 2049.
Mm-hmm.
But
and if you don't know who Sid Mead is, he is credited very frequently as a futurist.
Yeah.
He basically takes modern day and he extrapolates it into the future to see what things would be like. Mm-hmm. And thus, like, Blade Runner is very much that, where they basically, everything looks like the future. Like, you can look on the street and there's a parking meter, and the parking meter looks like the parking meter of the future. You know, it's very cool.
Like, he actually even worked on Tron, which I didn't know. That's cool.
Yeah. He's basically, whenever people wanted really cool futuristic stuff, they went to him, and it just there were a couple guys who did what he does. There was Sid, and then there was Andy Probert, who did a lot of Star Trek stuff, which Sid did too. And it's always interesting to see where he pops up, because he's always got really cool designs and stuff, and you're like, holy cow, I didn't know he did that.
Yeah, totally. It just blows you away.
Yeah.
Jeez. Next one is July 17th, 1935 was Diane Carroll was born.
Right.
And Itchy. Good old Itchy, looking at the holiday special, looking at his I don't know what that would be. What the hell you want to call that?
Is it Mala's dad or Chewie's dad? Who's? I feel like it's Mala's dad.
I have no idea.
So Chewie's wife Mala lived with her dad, and there's Chewie and Mala's son Lumpy in the holiday special, and Art Carney, Son Don was his character, like kept bringing Itchy like Wookiee porn. It was really really disturbing. And so only because like it's Diane Carroll, she's being sexy in this white sort of 1920s flowy gown and singing, and Itchy's like, yeah, baby. And it's like in the creepiest way a Wookiee has ever been ever.
Yeah, like because
really disturbing.
Art Carney's character's wow. You're like, what? Oh no.
Laura says Itchy is Chewie's dad. I gotta look that up. Because I'm not sure.
Yeah. But
I'll look it up while you talk.
And then Diane Carroll, she does have about 60 or so, I think, credits, something like that.
Oh yeah.
So
she's been in amazing stuff,
like Porgy and Bess and everything.
Yeah.
So it's just.
And she's has a long singing career.
Yeah.
And she was one of the first, and I think I'm right about this. I gotta look this up. I believe she was one of the first African American women, or African Americans at all, to headline a television show. She had a TV show called Julia that ran for I don't know, 4 years or something like that. Started in the late 60s, and that was a big deal. and she was like a legitimate television star. Among her TV career, all her movie credits and stuff. Yeah, she was great, and she wasn't a maid. She was a nurse. Yeah. It was like there was all sorts of groundbreaking stuff about that show.
Yeah.
That was terrific. So.
Exactly.
Yeah, Diane Carroll. I mean, we make fun of her because of the.
For this, I mean, well, for what they did to her with making her doing the dumb thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
My goodness.
But let's see. Atitchtikuk is Itchy's full name.
Yeah.
Let me see if it says if he's Chewie's dad or if he's Mama's dad. I don't know.
Yeah, it should say somewhere.
Chewbacca's mother. Yeah, he's Chewie's dad.
Oh, there you go.
Wow, that's even more disturbing somehow. Okay.
Yeah. Let's move on to July 18th, 1977. That's when C-3PO graced the cover of People magazine.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I assume it was Tony Daniels in the costume.
That's my guess, yeah.
Or some guy from shipping.
Yeah.
We're not sure.
July 16th, 1985. That is when Star Wars Triple Bill played in France. The one that I saw over here, and well, Sean saw it.
Yep.
Yeah. July 19th, 2008. That is when Celebration Japan launched to commemorate their 30th anniversary of Star Wars in Japan.
Right, it got there like a year late.
Yeah.
And now...
So is next year when the... Is it next year or the year after when...
next year, I think.
Okay, so is next year an anniversary of 1978?
No.
That's too bad.
No, it's not. Because what they're trying to do is stall out Celebration so that it lands on the 50th anniversary here. In the United States. So when it comes back to either Anaheim or Orlando, I assume we'll see. They don't announce the location until the previous one is over.
Yeah.
But I guess it's next year. We were you and I were there, Colleen, exactly 2 years early.
Yeah.
We were there on the dates the event was going to happen.
Right.
And
well, that means it's not next year; it's the year after.
That's what I said. Yeah, I corrected myself. I corrected
Hang
myself.
on. All right.
Ouch.
Marvel details upcoming horror-fueled comic event for Dark Droids. So what is this, like T2 but for Star Wars?
You know, I'm sort of picturing Five Nights at Freddy's with Star Wars myself.
Much. Yeah.
Where it's like, oh no, the droids are going crazy and taking people apart.
I'm not sure if it's something similar or not to what happened in that episode of The Mandalorian, with Jack Black and whatnot, where the droids were going crazy.
Well, this is a an entity called the Scourge, which is turning the droids bad. So I don't know if it's like a virus or if it's a like creature.
Because I mean, it's definitely
what is the Scourge?
It's Luke Skywalker is in it because there he is in the picture, but I don't know if that means like post Jedi or what.
Well,
because it's hard to tell.
The way he's dressed is post A New Hope. This is his awards ceremony costume.
Yeah.
He's got a yellow lightsaber. Is that legit?
It looks like yellow.
I don't know what's happening here, really.
So, yeah. I don't know.
I don't care. It's horror, so I don't care.
It's horror, and it's
I'm not doing it.
It's a series of comic books, also. I don't know. Is it a limited series?
I don't want to read horror comic books either.
It's like I think it was 5 issues. Let me see here.
Yeah, so it's a limited series.
I think that's what it said.
I don't know. It's not exciting me yet. Maybe someone will give me an issue and I'll change my mind.
Yeah.
But so far, I'm not impressed.
Disney Plus has Ahsoka coming in August.
August 23rd.
Oh, I thought that was the year. It says 8/23.
Yeah.
Oh.
I thought that was the
No,
year.
Right,
I'm
it's-
pretty sure.
It still
that-
fits, doesn't it, though? August 23rd?
That's the date.
Yeah.
We had a whole list, but it is August 23rd is
Yeah.
when it
Okay.
starts. And then they come out one a week after
Yeah.
that.
There, I fixed it.
Yeah. And it's just, I think our link is just
I-
the latest trailer.
Didn't
It is.
watch that trailer. Was that trailer new in the last 2 weeks?
I mean, I think
Yeah, I
it,
think
it
so.
has a few little things that are added, like flashes, whatever of stuff. But there's
The
not,
last
like, a
trailer
lot.
I saw really showed how many women there are going to be in it,
Yeah.
and so I'm pretty excited about that.
Yeah.
It's a Wednesday night, so
Of course it
basically every Wednesday at midnight, I think you're gonna get a.
At midnight?
Yeah, they tend to release them on midnight.
Oh.
I mean,
Yeah,
unless
but
they're doing it.
So wouldn't it
Tuesday,
be
Wednesday,
Tuesday at
night?
midnight?
Yeah,
It might be
or-
Tuesday at midnight. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Okay, so looking forward to that. Coming up real fast here. And Lego Vader's Vacation Short. And I also didn't watch that because I didn't realize that it was a video.
It was silly.
Yeah, I didn't actually.
If-
watch
if
it
you
either.
Well, I
like-
mean, Lego things are always silly,
Yeah,
right?
if you like the Lego, the Emperor is trying to get Vader to not work so hard, and Vader only wants to work, and so he gets dragged away. And in the meantime, R2 uses as an opportunity to do a little spy work.
Yeah.
And it's cute. It's Legos. Do you guys remember when they used to do the Lego video games and stuff, and like the characters didn't talk? They
Yeah.
just sort of grunted in their voices. It was
Yeah.
weird. So like, Obi-Wan would grunt in an English accent.
Yeah.
It was very
Made a
strange.
noise.
Grunting in English.
Yeah, and now they all talk, which
Yeah.
is kind of wacky. But it was fun. It was cute. It's
Right.
free,
Theme parks. So, more Disney 100 things are coming to Epcot between September 22nd and the end of the year.
Okay.
Which is good because they've been focusing so much, I think, on Disneyland for the
Yeah.
100th that
Oh, really?
yeah, I've heard people complaining that they feel like Florida is getting the short edge of the stick. But honestly,
I mean, what is short? Florida always has way more stuff than we
and
do.
they just had their 50th anniversary. They
Yeah.
just had a huge celebration. So I'm sure the people in Florida were like, "Oh God, a break."
Yeah, and also like when there are food items, special food items,
Yeah.
Florida will get like
They-
90 items.
They have
and
so many more
California
food
will
prep
get 3.
places. Yeah, they always win for food.
Yeah.
And we're always like, "Oh, if you go to this hot dog stand, you can get a special hot dog." And we're like, "Yay."
I mean, it
A
doesn't.
special gross hot dog.
Yeah. It doesn't look like they're getting a lot, to be honest, for this, but yeah.
I mean, but what do we have for the 100? They've got Mickey and Minnie dressed in special costumes, which is what we have. They've got like a statue, their Epcot ball thing,
Yeah.
Spaceship Earth, has a special design for it.
There are new
And we've got those big
statues in front of
coins.
Yeah.
everything. Yeah.
Okay.
So I don't know. It seems like we're pretty neck and neck. It's
Gotcha.
not.
Yeah, it's fine. I mean, they
We mostly have those banners that say 100 and list all
they're
the different
getting
stuff.
Yeah.
they're getting the chrome purple popcorn bucket, which I think we've had out here.
Yeah.
Except I think they have added Mickey's face to the one out there that we don't have here. We just have one that looks like the Mickey balloon and it's purple. This one seems to have Mickey's face on it to
Oh,
make it
man.
exclusive to
Gotcha.
them.
So the next headline got me excited, and then I opened the article, and now I'm bummed.
Oh no.
The
I'm
headline
sorry.
is Hong Kong Disneyland's 4 reasons to stay at the newly renovated Hollywood Hotel.
And you were thinking Tower of Terror, weren't
Yes,
you?
I was like, you
Yeah.
can stay at the. I'm going to Hong Kong. You can stay at the Tower of Terror. I know I don't do horror, but I would do that.
Well, because that's not really horror.
It is actually Art Deco with a contemporary twist in the lobby.
Yeah,
see.
it's okay. I mean, it looks honestly. And here, I'll show you guys a picture of it if you're watching us on video.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Why is this taking so long?
I don't see a picture of the hotel itself.
It looks like
I just see the interiors.
it looks
Yeah.
like a cruise ship on the inside,
Oh yeah, it pretty much does.
which is kind of interesting. There we go. So, I mean, this looks like a cruise ship. If you've seen any kind of, if you've been on any kind of cruise ship, it reminds me very much of the Queen Mary. Actually,
Yeah.
it has that kind of a vibe, and it's not bad.
It looks like they have a meal at the Ink and Plate restaurant, which is an American style dining experience.
Yeah.
Where for dessert they give you a little artist palette, and it comes with an artist palette cookie and a paintbrush and some little frostings to frost your own cookie.
That's fun.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Here is.
That's the incomplete.
I'm gonna put
outside.
in. Where is it at?
There you
Oh,
go.
over here. Okay. I'll
Oh,
put
did
it-
you find the exterior?
Yeah. Yeah. So I'll put that in our
Our chat.
chat.
Okay.
Not in the show chat, so to speak. So
Well,
there you
let me,
go. So you can see what it looks like.
Okay, although they have a lounge and bar called the Archivist, which looks pretty cool. It's got
And then it has renderings.
it is
the
reminiscent
inside.
of an old Hollywood film archive filled with film reels, catalogs, and artifacts from the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Okay.
So it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
I don't want the whole thing. Hold on. This web page has too big a masthead.
Oh dear.
Boo! And then they have a statue of an angry Donald.
Yeah. So there's the. Well. Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just trying to get rid of the masthead thing.
Oh yeah.
because
So you're
it's-
just saying that's up
it-
at the
Yeah.
top.
It's like, yeah,
Ah,
it's
that's
in the
weird.
way.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, it's it's kind of fun.
Yeah.
It's not the Tower of Terror,
No.
No.
it's-
which I would love to stay in. I think that would be amazing.
Yeah.
So
It reminds me much of like what they redesigned the front of California Adventure to look like based on that theater.
yeah,
Yeah.
I have to say I didn't care too much about going to Hong Kong until I went to Japan,
Yeah.
and now I'm
Yeah,
like,
now I
I
wanna go
I
to
want
Hong
the whole
Kong.
set.
That's-
Yeah.
It's just a slippery slope. It's kind of evil.
You know what we've never done? We've never done like one of these trips with like Jeff and family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also,
which
we've
would
never
be an
done a
interesting-
Disney cruise line.
That's
thing.
true. That would be a thing we have to do. Oh man, I'm starting to have
Maybe
some.
we should go. Both of our families go on the Disney cruise line for a Star Wars cruise.
I'm
That's an idea.
I'm starting to have serious FOMO with all the people who are taking these last minute.
Eric.
Galaxy's Edge.
Yes,
Things.
they're like
Yeah.
getting in
Yeah.
under the wire, which is like really a bummer.
I looked. I tried. I did. I like threw caution to the wind, and when I heard about it, I went and tried to get reservations, and I wasn't able to. So.
Yeah,
sorry.
well, and it's so expensive.
Oh, it is.
Who knows what it's going to
after
turn
I made
out
the
to
reservation,
be.
we'd probably have to turn around and go, can we actually afford this?
Right.
No.
It's like, ugh.
Yeah. Bob Iger finally admits that the theme park hikes were too aggressive.
Price hikes, I assume he means. I take a hike every week around the park, but I'm not very aggressive at it. so.
Right. Yeah, I did not. This is a video, and so I didn't have a chance to watch it before the show, and so I don't actually know what it says.
Basically, what it comes down to is the upping the prices of the annual passes, all of the stuff that they did to try to make up the money that they lost during COVID during their
Yeah.
closure.
Which was
It's
nice of 'em.
it was too much, and to be fair, to have Bob Iger say that, he didn't do it. He was retired.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When that happened, and so it's a case of like he's trying to clean up someone else's mess.
Yeah.
And one of the drawbacks to this whole thing too, I mean, Iger is really kind of stepping in it right now with the SAG strikes.
Yes.
And so he's sort of like trying to he's trying to play both sides, where he basically just messed up by saying, you know, what the writers and the actors are asking for is unreasonable.
Mm-hmm.
And he's a guy that, what did they determine, that he makes $74,000 a day?
Yeah, he makes when he started, it was something like 30 times more than somebody, and then it just ballooned up more than that.
Well, and so he makes something like $24 billion a year.
He gets $25 million each year.
That's it.
Yeah.
So basically,
I'm sorry, I made a mistake when I said that. He has a $1 million annual base salary. In addition to his base salary, he gets a long-term incentive award with a target value of $25 million each year.
Right. So he brings in a lot of money, and what it turns out is that the average writer and the average SAG actor might make somewhere in the neighborhood of $60,000 a year.
Yeah.
And he makes more than that a day.
Yes.
And so for him to say you're being terribly unreasonable is really privileged and ridiculous.
I don't think that's actually the average, though, or it's not the typical, because somewhere in the neighborhood of 60 to 70% of SAG actors don't make enough money to get insurance.
Right.
To get health insurance.
Yeah, which is like 25 or something, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
So, and I know I've had that problem before where actors that I've worked with can't make their insurance, and it's heartbreaking.
WGA reports that writer-producers earn a minimum of $41,000 for each 60-minute script.
I think you were talking about writers, and I was talking about actors.
Yeah.
So
but,
that was the difference.
Anyway, it's complex. And so to have him sort of pop out to try, he's trying to fix the stuff with the theme parks, which I appreciate.
Yeah.
But so he's walking this line of good guy, bad guy. This is what he said. He said, "I've always believed that Disney was a brand that needed to be accessible. And I think that in our zeal to grow profits, we may have been a little bit too aggressive about some of our pricing."
No.
He says that there's a way to be smarter about that. It's important for the company to retain a brand value of accessibility. He says the company is now taking steps to make smarter decisions about pricing at its parks. "We took certain steps when I came back to do just that, and they resonated extremely well with consumers. We're not only going to continue to listen to them, but we're going to continue to adjust." Because basically the big complaints is that now only rich people can go to Disneyland.
Pretty much.
I mean, you have to be like middle class, upper middle class, and above to get there, because tickets are $100 or more a day to go. But in reality, if you want to go on a weekend, we just discovered this because Colleen and I are going for our anniversary on Saturday, and she's blocked out from her pass.
Yeah.
And so we were looking at tickets, and they're like 174, 185.
Yeah.
They're 179.
Really tough stuff. Mm-hmm. So
super price hike.
And there's a lot of people I know who love Disney who can't afford an annual pass anymore, where they used to be able to, and they can't even really go with a ticket, or for example, you can get $100 a day tickets, but you've got to buy 3 days at once at $300.
What's up with that?
It's kind of rude, right?
Yeah.
But the revenue for the theme parks in the first quarter of the year is up by 21%, $8.7 billion.
Since they jacked the prices up, I wonder why.
Right. But unfortunately, they've announced plans to cut 7,000 jobs, which they think will let them save $5 billion in costs. And that's not the way to do it. And,
no.
And just as a side thing, if you go to sci-fi.radio and you look at our news feed for the past few days, we have an article up there about how Disney lost a court case in Anaheim that they now have to pay all of their employees a living wage, and they have 25,000 associated employees. That includes their hotels and their
I'd be
and that kind of
interested in seeing who it is that they're not paying a minimum a living wage.
Right.
If it's just restaurant workers,
I don't know.
or if it's you know.
Because like every job at Disneyland has its own union, so that
And California has minimum wage.
Yes.
So
I can't figure out why that everyone at Disneyland doesn't have at least a minimum.
Yeah.
They should have at least a minimum
or
wage.
if maybe Anaheim's saying that the minimum wage for California isn't high enough and it should be higher.
Maybe so.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But honestly, Disney needs to, not just Disney, all of them. All of these big companies need to stop making such ginormous profits for their shareholders.
Well, and especially Disney, who always says that they are all about the people who are fans, and they're like, we love our fans, we love doing this, and
No, they love their shareholders.
well, sure, and every company is allowed to do that, but not at the expense of everybody else.
Yeah.
Like Disney does a lot of stuff for their employees. They do, all of these big events, and they got screenings of the new Haunted Mansion movie, and they do lots of team building stuff and cool events like the rubber duck races and things. They like really keep the Disney employees like feeling part of the family and that kind of stuff. And the place where they fall down is in paying them a reasonable amount of money, where people are like, I love Disney, I love my job, I love the company, I hate that I don't get paid enough because I'm living in my car.
Yeah.
Which is awful.
And it also may be a matter of when I worked there, you couldn't get full time until a certain number of years or promotion wise to get full time hours. So everyone basically would work part time.
Yeah.
And that's probably another problem why these people are having difficulties with having
being able to survive.
Yeah,
yes,
because
that's a problem with a lot
they're,
of those type of public facing companies. Like Joann's Fabrics does the same thing, and other like Walmart does that.
Yeah.
Let me jump in here for a second. We're over our hour time. At the top of the hour here, just to let you guys know, you're listening to sci-fi.radio, which is over at sci-fi.radio. If you type it into your address bar, that's how you listen to us on the radio. They've got music and stuff there 24/7. We are but one of many live shows that is hosted there on the station. Do check that out. You could be watching us on Facebook or on Twitch or on YouTube. Any of those things are totally awesome. Like or subscribe or do whatever you find a way to let us know that you were there. And if you're chatting with us, we're keeping track of that too. We're glad to see all you guys popping in and out over on the chat. I am Sean Obi-Shawn Crosby.
This is Jeff Soledano.
I'm calling Kaylee Crosby.
Boba-Kit Sovine is working tonight, so Jeff's doing all the links because that's how he works. Aren't you? Somebody is.
No, I haven't linked anything.
Okay, well not.
I thought we just got a published post, so maybe she did them in advance, or maybe she's
maybe
posting them and we're just not paying attention.
And well, she said she was working. I thought so.
Yeah.
And just to say hey to everybody, United States, the UK, Australia, Canada, Switzerland, Germany, and Estonia are all tuned in over on the radio side of things. So thanks for listening to us. This show is called Docking Bay 94. We do it every Thursday night from 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern Time. But if you go to sci-fi.radio, look at the program schedule, it will magically change to your local time zone. And you'll be able to find out when this show and many other shows are playing in your locality. So please do that. And for any amount of time you guys hang out and listen, we're very grateful. Thanks.
I was just showing Jeff that a friend of ours posted a picture of, this little robot. What's his name, Jeff?
Chopper.
Thank you.
Chopper, the robot, the droid with the big body count.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And photos from Comic-Con.
Oh, cool.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Is it like from the Ahsoka or something then? Or just someone has one?
I would imagine it's from Ahsoka because there is also this mural painting of the wolves.
Oh yes, that's in the trailer.
Yeah.
Oh, from the show too.
Yeah.
They changed it a little bit from the show to more live actiony looking.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
One of the interesting things with Comic-Con this year, which started last night with its preview, is that Comic-Con is not really allowed to have actors there that are promoting current and upcoming projects. This is a real big problem. This also goes back to like, so like if you were in a Star Trek series 4 years ago, you can't really promote that Star Trek series there.
Yeah.
My idea for everybody's autograph signing was they should take a picture of themselves with the strike sign and sign those. I thought that would be really great. But it's really a tough walk where it's like Nathan Fillion, for example, can go and represent Nathan Fillion and, sell pictures of like his headshot going, hey, it's me, Nathan Fillion. Yeah. But he can't have pictures of The Rookie or, Dr. Horrible's sing-along blog or Firefly. He can't sell those. Yeah. So this Comic-Con is going to be really, really interesting because just about every big panel item has pulled out of Hall H, which is like the massive panel. A lot of smaller panels are getting upgraded to larger rooms because there's this like trickle-down effect.
Yeah.
And so a lot of promotion, like what you guys were just talking about with Ahsoka, they're having to come up with more creative things to do because they're not going to have signings at their booths and things.
Yeah.
So actually one of the Star Wars booths has a speeder or something you can sit on, which I think it's from Ahsoka. And then they have an LED screen behind you, and they'll take a video of you riding the speeder with the background flashing past you. And it's basically the same technology that they're using on The Mandalorian with the big LED psych.
Yeah.
Kind of cool stuff. And they're trying to find ways to up their excitement quotient because there's no celebrity excitement really going on.
Right. Wow.
So if you're going to Comic-Con, we'd love to hear your experiences to talk about next week. We are not going because Colleen and I are doing our 33rd anniversary on Saturday. Yay. So we'll be at Disneyland where we had our honeymoon because we're romantic that way. And Jeff, you're staying home. You're not going.
Oh, I'm not going to Comic-Con.
Yeah, so I know some people who are. I know a lot of people who are bailing out this year because they're like, yeah, maybe not. But, I mean, now might be the good time to go if you're really, really into comics. This is going to be much more comic-focused.
I feel like it's going to be more crowded on the show floor because Hall H, the Hall H sponge, as they call it, won't be available.
Between Hall H, which holds like 7,000 people, and Ballroom 20, which holds another couple thousand people, there's just...
Although maybe the convention was able to pivot because there wasn't a lot of warning that this was going to happen in the last 2 months, I think.
Oh, sure.
So maybe the convention was able to pivot and put something else in there, but I don't know that it's going to hold the interest of between 6,000 and 8,000 people when you put those two together. Yeah.
Right.
Could be volleyball.
Right.
Well, and
so it seems like everybody's going to be out on the floor and in the gas lamp.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and to be fair, being out in the gas lamp, like you can go to San Diego Comic-Con. This is the dirty secret. You can go to San Diego Comic-Con and not set foot in the convention center and have a blast because there's so much stuff going on with other productions being promoted out there, and it's such a street party out in the gas lamp that you really don't have to go to the con if you don't care to. So if you couldn't get a ticket, and what I heard is that like if let's say I got in with a professional ticket, if I wanted to bring a guest, I'd have to pay for the guest, and it was like $300, which is kind of crazy.
I gotcha.
So
oof.
So we have like a weird thing in my picture, and then and Colleen's dark
in
hers.
I thought you were looking at the chat, and I'm looking at the chat and didn't even notice
so
that.
I imagine that people might be seeing
and
that
I
and going, what the world?
Yes.
No, so
I'm blank.
Here's the deal. We've been having trouble with Colleen's camera.
Yeah.
Her camera died. I replaced it.
We're back now.
I replaced it with another camera that hasn't been cooperating as much. And then for some reason, our setup here keeps changing to other screens. So I don't know what the deal is. I think it's because I think my number keypad over here is doing something. No, it's not doing anything at all now. Then I'm completely wrong. I don't know what I'm talking about. But for some reason, it keeps switching over to other things. And then Colleen's video keeps resetting. Like I keep putting her in the middle of the screen, and then poof, she's up in the corner and stuck. And
weird.
And so I'm giving up. She's just going to have to be shoved up in the corner because the way your camera's positioned, you're like in the upper left-hand corner of the screen. And I keep correcting it digitally, but it keeps failing. It keeps going back to that. So it's whatever. But I try to keep our faces centered in the thing, and I just can't with this other camera. It doesn't save the settings for some reason.
Gregor says no one puts Colleen in the corner.
Well, Colleen's kind of put herself in the corner. It's where her camera is located.
Yeah.
I'm moving it though, so.
There you go. It's a little better.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, where were we? We were talking
Comic-Con
about
is
Disney.
Bob Iger and Comic-Con
Yeah.
somehow, and then
Disney California Adventure released a San Francisco Squares food guide.
Right, this is the new Big Hero 6 area that it's going from what was San Francisco to San Francisco, which is from Big Hero 6.
Yeah. And quickly looking through there, I was saddened when I first opened this because the second grouping of pictures, which is right below the one you're looking at, has what I first thought was a bow, and it turns out that it is just another one of those stupid cookies.
Oh, that's too bad. You thought it was a Baymax bow?
Gotcha.
But it's a Baymax
cookie.
one of those almond cookies.
Oh, okay.
Macaron.
Right, it just has powdered sugar on it.
Yeah.
Hi there, Lady Agatha 1066, or the first time chat and such. Hey, how's it going?
Hello there.
I don't know.
Welcome aboard.
Subscribe via Twitch, but I don't know if that's to us or.
Woo.
Yeah.
Hope
sure.
so.
Yeah. Okay.
Thanks.
I don't know. Yes. Hi.
Welcome.
Yeah, I mean, some of this looks
It is.
good.
Laura says it's a cute macaron. She's correct. It's just that as a bow, it would have been so much better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they have these macarons all over the park. They're everywhere.
Yeah.
And they're not. There's nothing really special about macarons anymore. Like 5 years ago, they were all the
Thank you,
rage.
lady.
Yeah.
And then they
This-
just got to be everywhere.
This isn't necessarily a
Ooh, thank you.
Baymax universe thing, but there was a Pixar short that was called Bow. And it was a mother and her little dumpling and whatever. And the little dumpling turns out to be a kid or something. And it's like all in her head. And it was very kind of
But
strange.
they don't have any little dumplings in that shape either.
Right. And so that's maybe they're saving it for that eventually when they get the opportunity to make Bow. So this is all near the Pixar Pier. It's what used to be just sort of San Francisco because of California Adventure.
Yeah.
They do have those type of bow in the park, though. They have them over in
The Tropical Hideaway.
Tropical Hideaway.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're good.
Yeah, they are really good. So, but I expect them to come up with one over there that's kind of related to the Pixar thing.
True.
I have to eat more over at DCA because we always first choice is eating in Galaxy's Edge,
Right.
and I wish they had more choices, but I do really like most of their offerings over there.
We usually
And then-
would eat at like Pim's Test Kitchen or something when we did
I just
over there, but
never. I go in and I look at it and I'm like, meh. But it looks like some of these things are better options, like more, a little more variety.
Well, here's
so.
here's teriyaki chicken with sautéed vegetables and steamed rice, and that's like right up my alley.
Yeah.
That's pretty looks pretty good in the upper right hand corner. We got pork wonton nachos, beef bulgogi burrito. I like bulgogi. That's pretty
Okay,
good.
I will totally eat a beef bulgogi burrito.
Cabbage slaw and garlic chips.
When is this starting?
And pot stickers.
August 31st.
Oh, cool.
Isn't it, your pass is activated?
Yes,
then,
and
right?
I will have a
So,
pass
right on.
working by then. So
Cool.
we'll try some of these out and let you guys know how
Yeah,
they are.
I mean, it looks pretty good. They've got some custom drinks going on.
Yeah.
Lychee tea,
There you go.
Thai tea with sea salt cream.
Looks like they have the coffee that's over in Galaxy's Edge already. That's what that middle one looks like, but I don't know if that's what that is.
No, it's not. That's Thai tea, I think.
Oh, is that the Thai tea?
And then
Nice.
strawberry lychee cocktail with
Nice.
vodka.
Oh, that's brown sugar bobas. Okay.
Okay, I would
Nice.
totally try that Thai tea.
Yeah, Thai tea. I love Thai tea.
Looks like,
I will not try the strawberry lychee cocktail.
what
though.
are the tacos? Coming soon. This is July 26th at the Mexican Grill. Quesabirra style tacos, braised beef and cheese tacos with tomatillo salsa and consomme. That could be good.
Yeah.
Carne asada, street corn. What does their street corn look like? Ooh, that's, there's a lot of stuff on that street
It's got a
corn.
coating of like mayonnaise or something on it.
Yeah, I don't.
Is it like elote?
And the weird, what are those?
Yeah,
furikake? No,
it's-
furikake is what's on the corn.
It's togarashi
And
mayonnaise.
It's the wheat chicharrones, which look weird to me.
Right.
But the furikake and bonito flakes is
Weird.
what's. So
Oh,
Sean doesn't like
no.
bonito flakes. So
Oh, do I not? Okay.
it's seaweed.
Oh no. Ew. There's some sort of like soupy
Bowl
looking
of
thing that
beans?
looks really gross. Yeah, whatever that is. Ugh.
It's frijoles charros.
It's gross.
Chorizo and bacon stewed pinto beans.
I'm going on record that that's gross.
But I do like the fact
It
that they do
smells-
have a lot of vegetable choices still, so that's good.
Yeah.
I'm glad they're keeping that up.
Horchata agua fresca.
Although I haven't seen, I guess maybe I'm just not paying attention to that because that's not something I'm trained to
Yeah.
have trained myself to look out for. So
Here you go. Tequila, melon liqueur, fresh lemon juice, and orgeat topped with a cherry. That's what this is. This nuclear green
Yeah.
drink, which is not exactly a color found in nature.
Yeah.
I would get the honey lemonade though. Minute Maid lemonade, 0 sugar, and yuzu puree with passion fruit and strawberry popping spears.
Honey lemonade? Where is that? I guess I didn't come down far enough.
It's underneath the kids' meals.
Oh, maybe I went down too far.
So no,
I don't think you're there
No?
yet.
no,
Kids'
it's
meals?
almost at the
Go past the green
keep
drink.
going.
Gotta go. It's down past
keep
that.
going.
Okay, keep going. Now I'm in food.
It's exciting radio.
Yeah,
I know,
keep
right?
going.
Okay. Past all this food?
Yeah, past all the food.
Oh. This is a separate kids'
There you
meal
go.
section.
There you go.
Because I was in a kids' meal section.
Right.
Just not for this place, I guess.
Yeah.
What is that, coffee for kids?
These are not kids' meals. That is a specialty caramel cream cold brew.
Ooh.
Joffrey's Coffee Caramel Mudslide Cold Brew topped with house-made sea salt caramel whipped cream.
I might be in for that.
Yeah.
And
Tasty.
the reason that I wanted to check out the honey lemonade is that I needed to make sure that they have separated out honey lemon as the Big Hero 6 character.
Laura corrects me. It's nori is seaweed and bonito flakes are from bonito tuna.
Yeah.
So I was wrong.
I don't want
I
corn
don't think
covered
that you
with
want
tuna.
tuna either.
That sounds gross.
I'll
chicken
eat
of the
it,
sea,
but
yeah.
I don't think Sean would like it.
Sorry, Charlie. Yeah.
Anyway, let's move along.
That sounds gross.
Wait, maybe we should look at something that doesn't sound gross
Okay,
before
and
we...
and before we get out, there's a whole lot of beer
Oh, yeah.
that they're doing,
And a sipper.
Of course.
and a Baymax sipper.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Do you get the beer in the sipper?
Yeah,
No.
I mean, I suppose you could.
A choice of fountain beverage, Jeff. I'm sorry, I regret to.
I mean, it depends on where you get, what you mean.
Okay, this is going to be awkward because there's going to be an Ant Cass Cafe, and I just picture lonely fanboys going to hang out waiting for Aunt Cass to show up.
See, I pictured Mama Cass.
No,
Who's Aunt Cass?
Aunt Cass was Hero's aunt.
Oh, right,
that
duh.
Heroes was living with.
Yeah.
She's taken on this weird fanboy crush thing where like there's lots of fanboys who are crushing on Aunt Cass because somebody posted a meme that said Disney's idea of a hot aunt, and it was Aunt Cass,
yeah.
and then somebody posted a thing that says Star Wars idea of a hot aunt, and it was
Aunt Beru.
burned Aunt Beru.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, continuing with the Disney food, Dole Whip Day is actually 3 days, starting today and going through July 23rd. You can get specialty Dole Whips.
Ooh.
But I don't...
I have had some really good
So for 3 more days.
Dole Whips.
Yeah.
This is-
Well, there's only 3 days total.
Oh, okay.
But it starts today.
Okay, gotcha.
And it goes through the 23rd.
Oh, wow.
Oh, through the 23rd. I thought you said the 31st for some
No,
reason.
23rd. There are 3 days. So,
Ew.
What the heck?
yeah.
Why?
Chili mango whip.
Why? It's Dole Whip Day.
Yeah, okay. I mean, it's, whatever.
It's the third
Yeah,
annual
there
Dole
we
Whip
go.
Day.
Okay.
Well,
Although
I have had
it's
some
3 days.
really good non-pineapple Dole Whips.
This Dole Whip Sunday thing that has the chili mango whip, that's really good.
Well, I mean, if it's anything like the chili milk that they have over at Galaxy's Edge, I mean, that's great. Where they mix the chili powder in with because there's
Oh,
two.
I haven't had that.
There's,
have I?
yeah, you have. There's two.
Yeah.
There's two
Well,
milks.
I have. I'm sure you have.
There's blue milk and there's green milk.
Oh, it's like the Mon Calamari swirl.
Yeah, it's like the Mon Calamari
okay.
swirl.
Yeah.
And
Yes, I have
because
had that.
one of the milks is fruity and one of them is coconutty,
Right.
and the fruity one I think gets the chili powder in it, which is really good.
Right. So anyway, you can get lots of flavors. You can get them 2 flavors done together. You can get floats. You can get sundaes, and you can get a boat to put your ice cream in. A little
Right.
jungle boat.
You
that
can
says
get them
Disney
in
100.
a Jungle Cruise boat.
Yeah.
It's pretty, except it's blue and not red. I
Yeah,
would
which
like
is
it to be
weird.
red. It's blue because it matches the colors for
Oh,
the
for
anniversary.
Disney 100.
Yeah.
Right.
And in fact, it may not even really be blue. It may be purple. It may just be a bad picture.
Limit 2 per person.
Oh, well. You got to limit
Yeah.
the eBay
Yeah,
stuff.
pretty much. Yeah.
And they're also doing Dole Whip like in a glass. It's like a
eBayers.
big spiral of a tall glass. But that's at the Disneyland Hotel over at Trader Sam's and the Tangaroa Terrace.
Yeah.
Tangaroa.
And they're also doing
Tangaroa.
Dole Whip Day at Walt Disney World, where they have more options.
See, they always
Yeah.
do, and the
They've
people
cut us
complain
a
over there.
Rapunzel Sundae, which has flowers all
My
over
goodness.
it.
That one's cute, and then they're edible flowers. They're not flowers. They're
Yeah.
they're little candy things.
There are edible flowers that are real flowers, but these aren't them.
But they're not in that.
No.
Right. I know that you can eat them. They're just not serving you them. And then there's like a blue coned ice cream thing, which
Oh,
is
wow.
it's called the Aurora Cone,
Oh, wow. Okay.
which is weird.
They should have a Frozone.
Yeah,
Oh.
totally.
Frozone Cone.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Frozone Cone. Ooh.
The Ember's Fury float one looks pretty cool. It's got a
Okay.
wacky.
I'm going to show you
thing on
guys a picture of this because, honestly, to me,
It looks like it should be in Galaxy's Edge.
well, it also
me.
looks like it's all something out of a horror movie because
Oh.
it looks like somebody should be doing blood spatter analysis on it.
Well, it's just a mango puree that has holes in it.
Right. But honestly, it looks like spilled blood.
Yeah.
I mean, I imagine it tastes really great, but it's just like, doesn't it look like blood spatter to you?
Sure.
Something.
That's something. It's like the Dexter
They
float.
have Dole Whip cupcakes
Excuse me.
at Disney World.
Yeah.
They're yellow cupcakes filled with Dole Whip pineapple mousse garnished with a cherry.
There is a picture.
Yeah.
They're very festive. Now, so Colleen and I had a pineapple cookie,
that a key
which
limit?
I
It was so good.
I bought it on the spur of the moment because I'm like, what the hell is a pineapple cookie? And the people at the counter couldn't tell me, and so I'm like, okay, I'll
It
take.
just looked like a sugar cookie that was
In the shape of a
frosted
pineapple.
to look like a
Yeah.
pineapple.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I'm like, okay, we'll take a risk. And it was so big, we cut it into quarters, and so we each got 2 big pieces of it, and it was a decent
It
cookie.
would feed a family of 4.
Yeah, it was a
Yeah.
decent cookie, and it had really great pineapple frosting on it. It was
Yeah.
really terrific.
They have a key lime one here. Not a cookie, I mean, but
So
Disneyland Paris has a it's like an ice cream, a Dole Whip with a Mickey and a donut stuffed in the top of it. A Mexican donut.
the Polynesian resort has
have
like
any words anymore.
some
It's-
sort of
Ugh,
little
like
turtle thing.
Churro.
on it.
It has a
Concha?
churro stuck into it.
Oh, okay.
What is this turtle?
I don't know.
I need to know.
Turtle?
It is, I will tell you, It is.
Trying to scroll
It
down.
doesn't
Where the
say.
Turtle, where?
It's I don't know. It's a little like printed chocolate thing with a turtle on it with a ukulele.
Oh, okay.
It could be a Dole Whip lime.
Maybe.
Yeah, but I don't know who the turtle
But
is.
who's the turtle? What's up with this turtle, kids?
Yeah.
No, it'd be funny if you don't really get the turtle. It's just like
Right. It's an accident artifact from some other article that showed up.
Disney turtle
See, this one has the orange bird.
with.
I know the orange
yeah,
bird.
What did
orange
it have?
bird.
It had a little
Ukulele.
Yeah.
Ukulele. Ukulele.
And I don't know who this could be. It could be
He is
Olmel.
Olumel.
Yeah.
He is a shy toy turtle created as an Olani representative for the Duffy and Friends toy line.
Oh,
He
okay.
loves singing.
Oh, that's nice.
Well, who doesn't love
Yeah.
singing?
That's
really?
cool.
So,
Yeah.
Now we know.
Hong Kong Disney
A Woody
Resort.
one. What?
Alani. They're going nuts.
Yeah.
Everybody's getting something.
Yeah,
The,
that's good. Does well, I guess they never show Tokyo, right? Because it's owned
I
separately.
guess not. The
Yeah.
cruise line, Disney Cruise Line,
Yeah.
they're doing. Yeah, Tokyo's never represented. Apparently.
I don't know if I've ever seen Olani represented before.
I have, but it doesn't happen. The Typhoon Lagoon has its own entry here,
Yeah.
but
Okay,
Yeah,
let
there's
us move
nothing at
along.
Tokyo.
That's a lot of Dole Whip.
Yeah, that's a lot of Dole Whip. Disneyland is set to be zero waste by 2030, which
Yes.
honestly doesn't sound soon enough.
well, I mean, for something the size that
Yeah.
that generates so much waste,
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of impressive if they can pull it off.
There is an article that talks about how they intend to make Disney zero waste.
Yeah, and they kind of
So,
already are. You know, when it's there's like they're really really close as it is, but
They've been recycling glass bottle for years. They've been recycling cooking oil, which powers both the steam trains and the riverboat.
biodiesel probably.
The
Yeah, it is biodiesel. That's why it smells like French fries.
leftover food, unserved food goes to food banks. Food scraps.
I can't
There
read
is
this article.
there's a program that converts them into feed for animals.
Yes.
So yeah, actually they've got a really good thing going.
I mean, and they do generate so much waste, and they're good at cleaning it up. But I appreciate that they're doing more with multi-use recycling.
Disney World has a compost program that they have at the Animal Kingdom.
That's
Yes.
cool.
Yeah.
Well, and that makes sense. Like, so when we went to Animal Kingdom, which was quite a while ago, they did not allow plastic straws in there or lids. And part of it was to protect the animals, and part of it was to just not generate that plastic waste.
Yeah.
And so if you bought a Coke, don't spill it because you don't have a lid.
Yes,
There's
true.
a restaurant there called Restaurantosaurus, and the cast members wear costumes made from recycled water bottles
Oh, that's
that
fun.
were
Great.
collected at the park.
Yeah.
My sunglasses are made out of recycled water bottles. And I just thought that was really
Nice.
kind of cool. And they look like tortoiseshell Ray-Bans.
Yeah.
And they're made out of these recycled bottles.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that.
And they've been doing this since before it became trendy, although
Or whatever you call that.
I'm guessing that means from the beginning because it became trendy in the 70s.
That's fun.
Yeah.
There's a sign here that says, "Your food scraps haven't fossilized. We fertilize these plants with dirt
Right.
made from your trash tableware and leftovers."
Yep.
So their plan is to achieve net zero emissions from direct operations at all Disney-owned and operated entities by 2030, purchasing or producing 100% zero carbon electricity by 2030, and achieving zero waste to landfill for wholly owned and operated parks, resorts, and Disney Cruise Line by 2030.
So
So they're not
excluding
speaking Tokyo.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Although Tokyo, honestly, looked pretty on the frickin' ball when we were there.
And then, sorry, I missed one more line. They're reducing single-use plastics in the parks and resorts and eliminating them on cruise ships by 2025.
There you go.
So that's a year and a half.
That's pretty good.
Well,
Yeah.
Fingers
much
crossed.
better.
I hope they can pull it off.
Yeah. And it says guests can be mindful
Mm-hmm.
of when you throw your trash away, be mindful of where you're putting it, because there
Yeah.
are places to separate your trash
Yes.
at the park, and they need the people who are there to chip in
Okay.
and help.
Yeah, a lot of it comes down to you. And going to Disneyland, they've been really good with recycling bins, and they put right on the bin, except in Galaxy's Edge, which is, I guess, out of place for them to do it. But they specifically say what you can put in there.
They should do it in Galaxy's Edge too.
They should, but I think they separate their trash out. There's not a lot of trash cans in Galaxy's Edge.
Yeah.
I know. I've looked at all of them.
So,
Go ahead.
I was saying that we wanted to also say hi to the people that are watching. 'Cause
Oh,
I
yeah.
I don't think we've done that at all yet.
We
We
have
didn't.
as they've cropped in.
We didn't at the beginning of the show.
No.
We
So,
skipped it.
like, I see Alan and Kelly, and Phil and Govind, Randy, Kelly, and Zachary. That's on Facebook.
Hey, Zachary. I owed
Really?
Zachary a phone call.
We know that Gregor's listening. Yeah,
Yes.
David Badella, he's on there.
Beth Allen is listening.
That's Liz. Hey,
Yeah.
Liz. Laura's listening. with,
Don, Laura,
Talon Thorne.
Chris.
Yeah.
And Jedi Loreen.
Yes.
Very cool.
Don.
yeah,
yeah.
We have a
We
really
said hi to Eric
really
when he
Yeah, I
good
came
think
in,
so,
I
yeah.
think.
And can I just say I'm glad to see Randy Garcia popping in.
Yeah.
Randy was one of our favorite people over at DCA, and he switched teams. He's working for Universal these
Dun, dun,
days,
dun.
which is great. And and I absolutely he like posted a Facebook thing where he's like, happy birthday Disneyland from a real theme park, and he's like he's at Universal.
Wow.
Oh my gosh. Man.
It made me laugh. It was
All
very
right,
awesome.
let's go through these trailers really quickly.
Howdy, Jimmy.
Yes.
Jimmy Corbin. Woo.
Oh,
Just popped
hey,
in
Jimmy.
there. He's like, just now.
Hi, Jimmy. I just sent Jimmy a message this morning. I used to work with Jimmy, and someone said something to me at work on
Yeah.
one of our work, not social media, but our work chats. And my response to that was "Yay," which used to be Jimmy's response all the time. I'm fading in and out here.
Yeah.
And
Wiggle,
so
wiggle.
I responded by saying "Yay" to something, and then I went, "Oh, I miss Jimmy."
Oh, man.
Okay. Coming to Peacock, a series on July 27th.
Yeah.
Twisted Metal.
Yeah. That's based on the video game. I love the sound. But yeah,
I think my
yeah.
microphone went away.
Well, I don't know. I'm trying to
It's
figure out why
off
you're
on.
fading in and out.
Yeah, it's it looks really it looks like they're just having a lot of fun with it. Like Anthony Mackie plays the lead, and it's racing through the apocalypse or whatever. I guess because I haven't played the game.
Isn't that a song? Racing through the
Yeah.
apocalypse?
Yeah, and I guess
Yeah.
right after that. But it looks fun. It does look like a fun thing. I've seen images of the game. I've never played it, so it looks like they're nailing a lot.
If I had Peacock, I would watch this, but
Yeah.
I do not have
Yeah,
Peacock,
me
and I'm
neither.
not going to subscribe to another service.
Yeah.
So. Coming to theaters on August 18th is Blue Beetle.
Yes.
And this is a
DC.
DC superhero.
Yeah, it's the first one for the new DCU under James Gunn. Or
Oh, okay.
Sean?
It looks good.
James Gunn.
And honestly, I thought it was Marvel
Yeah.
when I watched it.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
just said DC, and I'm like, oh.
Yeah. But it does look fun. It looks it does look really good. So, I don't know the best way to describe it, but it's he's sort of like an Iron Man, but organic, and it's yeah.
But it's also like the suit came to him,
Yeah.
and there's a woman's voice who talks
Yeah.
in his ear,
Yeah.
and he can't take the suit off
No, no,
unless
no,
the
no.
suit decides to.
It's like the suit's alive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
so he's kind of been kidnapped into
sort
the
of
superhero
symbiotic
position.
sort of
It seems very derivative of a variety of Marvel things
Yeah,
that
but it
we've
is-
already seen.
But based on the comics, so
Yeah.
Sure.
it looks fun.
Coming to theaters on September
Oh.
1st, Nandor Fodor and the Talking Mongoose.
That
And
looks
I
so
wonder
good.
if Nandor Fodor is supposed to be the guy who starts the Fodor food guides, but probably not.
I don't think
Um,
so.
it's-
No.
It's played by one of my secret boyfriends.
Which secret boyfriend is this?
It's
The Weekend.
names. The names are all gone. I can't. Simon Pegg.
He played Scotty.
Simon Pegg. I'm allowed to have secret
I'm just letting it.
You,
I'm just letting
I
it,
didn't say
you know.
you couldn't have secret
Okay.
boyfriends.
I was
It's
just
not like
letting it play
I'm
out.
ever gonna, take any action on this whole secret boyfriend thing.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah.
This is very
it
weird.
Looks really,
There-
it looks
it's
cute and weird.
Set in
yeah.
like the 1930s, I think, and
Probably.
and the clothing looks like 1930s to me.
Yeah.
And Nandor Fodor is Simon Pegg.
Yes.
And he goes to investigate a family that says that there's a talking mongoose living in their wall.
Yeah.
And then I don't know, the world goes sideways from
Yeah.
there.
It
So
looks
Well,
like-
talking
it looks
mongooses
fun,
are never
though,
good.
So I do want to see this because it just
Yeah.
looks so quirky and odd and fun.
But yeah, it's weird. It's
Yeah.
like the family says, yes, there's a talking mongoose. And then he goes and he's like, no, you're crazy. There's no talking mongoose.
Yeah.
And then some of the people that live nearby are like, no, there's totally a talking mongoose.
Yes.
And then other people, when that family's not around, are like, everybody knows there's no talking mongoose.
Yeah.
And then the mongoose calls him on the phone and says, I'm going to come out of my hiding for you.
I will talk to you.
Yeah, I'll talk to you.
You know,
Weird.
this is the second trailer we saw with something like that where a guy's like, I'm experiencing this thing and nobody else believes me that I'm experiencing this thing.
And I think the mongoose is played by Neil Gaiman, but
Yes.
I'm not sure.
Yes,
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, that's a reason to watch it.
Yep, right
like
there.
just
Simon Pegg, man.
because
That's reasonable.
what else is Neil Gaiman
The,
performed in?
the other thing, in addition to Simon Pegg and Neil Gaiman, the 1930s look
Mm-hmm.
of it is really kind of cool.
Yeah.
I like it.
Well, I'm always a fan of that.
Yeah. Coming to theaters on December 15th is Wonka.
Yeah.
This is the prequel to Willy Wonka and the Chocolate
Yes.
Factory, or Charlie
Which
and the
you
Chocolate
didn't
Factory.
know you needed to have, but apparently you're getting.
And it actually looks kind of cool. I don't think that at the moment, the actor
Timothy?
isn't as
Yeah.
good. Timothy Chalamet, is
Yeah.
that who it is? He's not as good as Gene Wilder.
Of course not. Yeah,
But I
yeah.
don't think anyone ever will be.
Yeah.
Right. And
think
the
it-
question
But-
is he closer to Wonka
He's-
than Johnny Depp was?
He looks
Oh,
better
more
than
likely.
Johnny Depp. So I don't care about closer. I'm not, like people, the state said apparently Johnny Depp was closer to the book. And I'm like, fine, whatever, I don't care. I love Gene Wilder.
Yeah.
And
me
so
too.
he is my Willy Wonka.
Yes.
And I try not to think about Johnny Depp.
Well, Johnny Depp specifically went creepy Michael Jackson with it. That was like
Yeah.
his whole idea to be like this line of predatory, which was just uncomfortable. I appreciate a lot of stuff they did in his movie. I like the design of it. I like the Oompa Loompa stuff. There was so much that was really well handled. But
Oh, yeah.
it was just such a bizarre thing to do.
Yeah.
And so anything, if they want to roll that back a little bit and do more of the Gene Wilder thing, I'm there for it. And
I feel like he's trying to play more Gene Wilder
Yeah.
than Johnny Depp.
well, and so one of the things I didn't get from Johnny Depp
Yeah.
was Johnny Depp's Wonka didn't feel like he'd seen some stuff. And Gene Wilder's Wonka had PTSD.
Yeah.
And it was why
Yeah.
he was given the factory up. He'd
Yeah.
seen some stuff and he was done.
And this does
Um,
seem like the innocent, loving version that Gene Wilder could have been before he
Yeah.
had seen some
Right,
stuff.
that he
Definitely-
starts out with.
Yeah.
It's definitely more connected because you see the Oompa Loompa at the end, played by Hugh Grant, and he's very styled after the original the
Oh yeah,
Gene
he
Wilder
looked
Oompa
totally
Loompas.
like the Gene Wilder.
Well, and
Oompa
and everybody's
Loompas.
doing the who wore it best. Was it Timothy Chalamet, Gene Wilder? Was it Gonzo in
Well,
the
Gregor
Muppet
posted
Christmas
a
Carol?
link to
Yeah.
the Timothy Chalamet looking exactly like Gonzo. It's
Yeah.
like this same costume.
Right, exactly. It's like
Yeah.
like who wore it better. And the I'm there for this movie. I will watch it, and I feel like I will enjoy it more than, even though I did enjoy the Johnny Depp one.
Yeah.
I was a huge fan of the Wonka books when I was a kid. I absolutely adored them. Even as problematic as Roald Dahl is as a writer,
Yeah.
I love his writing. And but Wonka in the books was a toad. He
So-
was like not a good guy at all.
No. Would you watch a Muppet Willy Wonka?
Completely.
Oh yeah, totally.
But the
So-
question
Yeah.
is it one of those things where Wonka is a human and everybody else is a Muppet?
No, Charlie.
Charlie would be the human?
Yeah,
Yes.
I think that would be cool. Charlie as the human. Although you
Yes.
would picture Kermit as Charlie.
I don't know.
Which
Because-
Muppet would be Wonka?
I would think
Gonzo.
I'd make Kermit like
Yeah.
Grandpa Joe or something, but you know.
Yeah, I would
He
think
wouldn't
that,
be that old janitor that they have on the Muppets with the crazy white hair.
I think that Gonzo really, because Kermit is too innocent to play Gonzo.
He's
or
too
to play,
nice. He's always
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
nice guy.
Yeah.
You need somebody who's got a little bit of an edge, like you said.
Right. He's creepy.
mean-
Gonzo could easily pull it
Yeah,
off.
yeah.
Yeah.
And you could see Gonzo doing the crazy boat ride too from the original.
Yes.
Yes.
There's no way of knowing
So
which
if-
direction we are going.
If a Muppet were to play Charlie, it would have to be Kermit. But I kind of think
I
that if
would
it
think
was a
it'd be,
one human
Robin.
thing, it would be
That's right. I'd like to see Robin as Charlie.
that Charlie
Yeah.
would be.
Yeah.
That'd
Yeah,
be
I guess
fun.
because he's supposed to be a kid.
That's
Yeah.
right.
So
Wow.
But it's a
All
hard
right.
one. It's a hard one to go
All right,
with.
Muppets,
Yeah.
get on that.
yeah.
Get on that. We're ready
Coming to theaters on December 22nd, Migration. It's an animated.
It's an
Thing.
animated thing from the guys who brought you the Minions,
Yeah.
Yes.
and it's
it
okay.
was about
Yeah, it looks kinda funny.
ducks
Yeah.
that were.
Yeah.
It was a single duck family, so like a nuclear duck family
Yeah.
that was going to take their far too young daughter. She was too little to be migrating,
Yeah.
and flew into a city by
Yeah.
mistake.
Nuclear
And so-
ducks.
nuclear duck family.
Oh man, that's like Teenage
Right.
Mutant Ninja Turtles.
You know, can
Yeah.
yeah. Interesting. I watched a whole bunch of trailers that aren't on this list.
Probably the other ones that we kind of.
Were they the ones from last week?
They must
Yeah,
have been.
yeah.
I
There's
didn't-
something with Chiwetel Ejiofor and
Yeah,
There's,
yeah.
Some-
if you want to talk about any of those,
no,
we
it's
can talk about it
it's
in
just
a-
weird. I'm like, why don't I know any of these ones?
Yeah, these were
I'm like
from
this is not what I watched to prep for the show.
the ones in purple. You should have watched then
See,
because
this
the
is
ones
how we
in
make
purple,
the show exciting.
The ones in purple were from last week, and the ones in blue were from this week.
Right, they're not here in this list. I just refreshed
If
the
you
page. It doesn't exist.
If you scroll down, there are more trailers.
Are there?
Yes.
Oh,
on the
look,
last
there
page.
they are. Okay.
Yes.
Because that's why. So we
Is
were.
there
Oh
any
my
one of those
God.
that you want to talk
That
about?
was
Well,
so
yeah.
funny.
So we were talking about the mongoose, talking mongoose.
Oh yeah.
Thing, and I referenced another trailer
Yeah, the
which
Corner
was
Office.
called Corner Office,
yeah.
in which John Hamm
Yeah.
goes into this office and becomes really productive and creative and amazing, and everybody else is like, what the hell are you talking about? We have no idea where that office is, and why are you just standing in the hall spacing out like that? and it's this weird thing where he's got this incredible fantasy life
Yes.
going on, apparently.
Well, I watched that last week, so I can barely remember it, but I do
yeah.
remember it.
That was
Wow.
pretty funny though.
I would
watched
like
it
to
this-
see that.
I
That's
watched
coming
all
out-
of this week.
Yeah.
It's coming out on the 4th
Watched the
Yeah.
wrong list.
to theaters.
Hmm.
So,
And Godzilla -1, they finally got you look at what it was going to look like, and it looks pretty cool. It's a period piece.
Yeah.
With Godzilla.
Cool.
That looked pretty cool.
Yeah. That looked
all right,
pretty
we
awesome.
have to power through. We have a couple more topics that we absolutely have to talk about, and we've got about
That we
15 minutes.
we teased it.
So, Sean, you want to do the rest in peace section, and then we'll move on to the.
At least it's short.
the.
We have a blessedly short rest in peace section. The Jane Birkin actress and singer, passed away at the age of 76. She was an English actress who went to Paris and basically brought her culture to there and completely charmed everybody over there. And so much so that the French Culture Ministry tweeted her death. And so that was kind of crazy.
Yeah.
She was supposed to go. She'd been sort of forcibly retired because she broke a shoulder blade, and she was supposed to come back.
Ouch.
And she didn't. She didn't really quite recover from that. But it's she's had health issues of late that kept her from performing. I assume that's what did it. But she moved to France and just embraced everything and became a French treasure, despite having come from England. And she became a political activist there and doing all sorts of stuff. She was one of those groups in France that cut off all their hair to support the people protesting in Iran and all sorts of stuff. And so sad to hear of her passing. I like people like that. I like those sort of Renaissance people who do all that kind of stuff. And
Cool.
So yep, tis sad. But our rest in peace section is blessedly short.
Yeah.
Great.
For which I'm super grateful.
All right. Let's talk about conventions. Comic-Con started, and we actually, the Invincible Season 2 Comic-Con panel is planned despite the strikes.
Oh, that's...
So I don't know whether that's
Well, so
real
here's
or...
a couple things. Invincibles is what? Who's
What did I put that one?
what's their is it the animated series?
Yes.
It's the animated
Okay.
series.
So depending on and it's got some good people in it. It's Stephen Yeun and J.K. Simmons and Mark Hamill and Seth Rogen and Zachary Quinto.
It appears to be on Prime.
Right. So depending on who is producing it, if it's Amazon, that's a problem.
Oh.
But if it is an independent production company that is outside of the studio system,
So,
places like that are getting a pass from SAG and from the Writers Guild.
the person, I think the only person that's going to be there is like the creator of the show, co-creator, Robert Kirkman.
Okay.
Oh, well, then it's not the
Then-
actors or the
then-
It
writers.
doesn't
then
look
that's
like
okay.
they're there.
Then
Yeah,
that's
it
okay.
doesn't,
I'm trying to see who else, but
doesn't matter.
So the companies that producing it is a company called Skybound North, Winsun Sky. Amazon is behind it as a financial backer. That gets dodgy. But one of the things about the SAG and the WGA strike is this: some of the productions are getting waivers because they're not big streaming studios and things
Yeah,
like that.
okay.
So.
it's good people.
If you like, there's a production that is sort of faith-based, and it's being done by this independent little company, and so the actors are getting a waiver to work on that show because it's not coming out of a big studio that they're battling with.
Yeah.
And they probably went to the production thing and said, "Hey guys, how do you feel about these issues that we're fighting about?" And they came to some sort of agreement, and therefore their production gets to continue.
So A24, which is the studio that did Everything Everywhere All at Once,
Yes.
received waivers for 2 of its movies: Death of a Unicorn, a dark comedy starring Paul Rudd and someone Ortega,
Jenna Ortega.
Jenna
Yeah,
Ortega
Wednesday.
from Wednesday.
Yeah.
and a drama, Mother Mary, starring Anne Hathaway, Michaela Cole, and Hunter Schafer.
Okay.
Bride Hard, starring Rebel Wilson, Dust Bunny, starring Mads Mikkelsen and Sigourney Weaver, Flight Risk, starring Mark Wahlberg.
That's a lot of productions that they're waiving on, which means
Yeah.
that they basically have come up with a blanket agreement with the company,
Yeah.
who basically went to them and said, "Okay, guys,
It's weird that The Chosen, the one that you talked about that follows the life of Jesus,
yeah,
was given a waiver because it streams on both Netflix and Peacock.
Well, I think they're
Here
I
it
think
is.
they're giving a waiver to the production
So-
company and not so much the streamers.
It says as their dispute currently exists with the Alliance of Motion Picture and Television Producers, members are not permitted to appear in anything AMTV. So I think that it's because because A24 is not actually tied to the AMPTP.
Oh,
That's
Yeah.
Right.
That's why.
Yeah.
but that doesn't. So that makes sense.
Yeah.
But what doesn't make sense to me is the one that streams on Netflix and Peacock.
Yeah, I don't know.
So
But this is just the A20.
Yeah.
Were those A24s as well, or does something
it
else?
just says other titles.
Okay.
I mean,
Well,
maybe it's A24.
they obviously
it's
have
not
a
written well
blanket
enough
thing
to
for
understand.
for
other films on
A24.
the list include. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So,
So they may not be A24.
they
so the ones on the
consider
list.
the waiver for The Chosen fairly rare.
Yeah.
And let's see what it says here. It doesn't really say why they have given it the
It's
waiver.
interesting. It's going to be interesting. I almost wish that I were going to Comic-Con this year just to see what the differences are.
Right.
Yeah.
And I really hope that it gives some of the artists and animators that do comics and things like that a bit of a bump
Yeah.
that they wouldn't normally get because
Yeah,
everybody's
totally.
focused on the big.
That would be
Okay.
nice.
So here's why they got us a SAG waiver. It said, we've agreed to all of SAG's requests and their interim agreement.
Oh.
That's one. And number two is season 4 is entirely independent and 100% funded by donations.
Wow.
So
Okay.
basically, they kickstarted their show,
Oh, okay.
and they
That
are
makes
not
sense.
beholden to the streamers that they're streaming on.
Wow.
And so
Interesting.
that's why they got it.
Gotcha.
So
That's good.
and it's a faith-based thing about the life of Jesus, which I'm sure didn't hurt.
Yeah.
I guess we're sort of talking about the strike and Comic-Con all as one sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We just talked about the A24 movies.
Mm-hmm.
Mark Ruffalo advised actors to do indie films and exit the empire of billionaires.
Right.
Yeah.
So basically, he's saying we should make friends with all these independent companies and do their movies to keep busy and to support them.
Yeah.
And there's another thing that I think Neil Gaiman was talking about that sort of plays into it too. So SAG is striking, the Writers Guild is striking. Actors are encouraged not to promote their projects at things like Comic-Con and whatnot.
Yeah.
What we are encouraged to do as fans, and the reason that we are still here talking about movies, even though like I'm a SAG member and things like that, is people are still encouraged to go see movies they want to see. So Barbie comes out tomorrow, go see Barbie.
Yeah.
Because, if the movies do well, that only helps support the Writers Guild and the Screen Actors Guild, because there's obviously a demand for these things. If
It
you're
is confusing, though.
It is, and that's why I'm bringing it up.
Yeah.
So, you may subscribe to Amazon, you may subscribe to Netflix, whom these unions are fighting with right now, but watch the things you want to watch. Don't go, well, I'm going to boycott these things, because that's not going to help. Because it's this double-sided coin where
But-
they show you want to show that these are the movies you want to see, and you want them to pay people a legitimate wage to create them.
Okay.
I do wonder if we didn't misstep here in that Jeff and I are allowed to talk about the movies that are coming out, but Sean really shouldn't be.
I am not connected to them.
Yeah,
I am not
yeah.
in them. I am
Yeah.
not promoting them per
I
se.
mean, if we were talking
Oh,
about like
okay.
the Goldbergs or something,
right. If I had worked right, if
You
I
know.
had worked on a Goldbergs episode like recently, that would be a big deal.
yeah,
We're not talking about that kind of stuff.
Okay.
And I'm not telling you to.
I just don't want Sean to get in
No.
trouble.
And I thought about that long and hard before we did the show. It's not a problem for me to talk about it. And it's the thing that we mentioned at the beginning where Nathan Fillion can talk about being Nathan Fillion. He just can't talk about the Rookie.
yeah,
Right.
And this is actually a big problem. So Star Trek Las Vegas is coming up. It's the big
They got waivers.
well, and why? Because every actor there is obviously
promoting
promoting
Star Trek.
Paramount and
Yeah.
promoting their streaming station, and every actor there is there on behalf of Star Trek. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
Why did they get waivers? I'm not a fan of the cremation company. I think that they had actors signed to exclusivity contracts, which somebody had to go to court to prove that they were illegal to do. So once upon a time, actors signed contracts that they could only do Star Trek conventions with creation, and that's terrible.
Yeah.
That is terrible.
They're bad actors in general as a convention runner.
Not the Star Trek actors. The
No.
creation,
Creation.
The convention.
Creation are. And I don't know why they got a waiver. I don't think they deserve
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
And then if that's the case, why didn't San Diego Comic-Con, which is an actual 501c3 nonprofit, why didn't they get a waiver?
Yeah. Boo.
I don't know. It's all very confusing to me.
Right.
Yeah.
It's and it's confusing to all of us. But
Yeah.
but
It's a
your
big mess.
your homework as viewers of this show and fans of science fiction and things, go watch the shows that you like.
Yeah.
Don't boycott the movies. Go to the movie. You want to see Mission Impossible? Go see Mission Impossible. You want to go see Barbie or Oppenheimer? Knock yourself out. Because if those numbers are still good, there's obviously a demand for that, and that just reinforces that people want quality writing, they want good acting, and those things need to be paid for legitimately. And it helps erase the comments like Bob Iger was making, saying that SAG and the WGA are making unreasonable demands on billion-dollar companies.
Yeah.
So it's tough stuff. It's a terrible position to be in as a fan. We, in our lifetime, haven't really been put in this position where we're like, what do we do? And cosplayers are like asked not to go to represent. Like if Disney asked me to go do something as Obi-Wan, I'd have to say no, because I don't want to be on that side of the argument supporting Star Wars and representing Star Wars, because SAG is against Disney.
Yeah.
And they're recommending that non-SAG member cosplayers also do the same thing. It's like, don't cross our picket line by being Captain America for Disney at Comic-Con.
Yeah.
Because you're being an actor, you're performing a role, and you're supporting the company. Even if you're not a SAG member, and if you want to, especially if you want to be a SAG member,
Yeah.
don't do it.
Well, and also, as far as the Star Wars costuming, there are certain agreements with Lucasfilm that the people in the Rebel Legion and the 501st, and I assume the Mando Mercs, and the cars, the Road Squadron,
Yeah.
there are certain things that they're not supposed to do. And I'm going to say that you wouldn't even have to ask
Yeah. Yeah.
if it was appropriate for you to dress up in Star Wars costume and go
Right.
pick it. I think that they want that just to be completely separate.
Well, and that's the thing that's tough. So, like
Yeah.
Shauna Triptych, costume designer for Book of Boba Fett and for Mandalorian and things like that, posted pictures of guys going down there dressing in her costumes, waving signs,
Yeah.
and not her costumes directly, but inspired by her
Right.
work.
Yeah.
And it's like, is that a thing we should be doing, or should we not be doing it at all?
I think that is not an appropriate
It's
thing to do.
it's a tough call. And what really happens is when you go down there and you check in and you make an appointment to be in the line, because I've looked into all of this, they issue you a sign, they issue you a T-shirt, so everybody represents a unified front.
Yeah.
And as you know, I would love to go down there in costume. I also don't want to be the jerk, because like if you go down as Boba Fett, nobody knows who the hell you are.
Yeah.
If I went
Right.
down as Obi-Wan, they're like, oh, it's Sean.
Yeah. Right. True.
Duh.
But I feel like it would be violating what Lucasfilm has asked of the cosplayers in order
Did
to not...
Lucasfilm ask or did SAG ask? Because I've only seen SAG guidelines. I haven't seen Lucasfilm guidelines.
So Lucasfilm has a list of things that they don't like the costumers to do and ask you not to do.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you would need to ask. You would look at that list and you would go, I think that Lucasfilm would probably not want me to do that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I would just, go with that. We're out of time.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. And just a side thing. Here's the thing that says you can't write fan fiction either.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
The heck?
I thought you'd be able to write fan fiction because
This one says, here are fans that are striking in Bridgerton costume. It says, cosplay during the WA and SAG
I have
strikes
no problem with people cosplaying in Bridgerton costumes.
aren't scabbing, it says.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I think that it's a bad idea in Star Wars costumes,
well,
very specifically.
I'll read
Yeah,
this article
totally.
a little later and
Yeah.
see what it says, because everything's nebulous. Everything's confusing. Man, what a drag, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Since we are here at the top of the hour, first off, thank all of you guys for tuning in. We're
Thank
so
you.
grateful to be able to have spirited conversations like this, not just among ourselves, and
Yeah.
to have your input over in the chat is tremendous.
Yep.
And wherever you happen to be checking us out, we are super grateful for. That could be on YouTube, it could be on Facebook, it could be on Twitch. And for all of the people who were around the world earlier that I mentioned, the fact that you guys are tuning in, absolutely cool, wherever you
Yeah,
happen to be.
excellent.
Sci-fi.radio, it's sci-fi for your Wi-Fi. You can tune in there and hear us on audio. You can hear me at 9 a.m. Pacific time in the morning, Monday through Friday, to do Good Morning Tatooine. Always glad when you guys chime in, and you can hang out on Discord with us. That's super cool too. And I'll be wrapping out the week tomorrow. If you want to tune in, sci-fi.radio is the URL, and you can play it right there in the browser, which is pretty fun. So please tune in
Yep.
for that. Thanks to Kit for setting up our document. Sorry she's not here. Hope her work day went well.
Yeah.
And she published posts too.
Yeah.
Awesome. So very, very cool. And yeah, we're very grateful to have her working hard for no pay like the rest of us. I guess that's about it.
Yep.
I'm Colleen Kaylee Crosby.
This is Jeff Donoho.
I am Sean Obi-Shawn Crosby. As always,
May
the
the
Force
be
be
with
with
you.
you. Let's give you guys a little bit of a
Night, everybody.
credit screen, if I can figure
Good
this puppy out. Hello.
Kit's actually at Comic-Con.
Oh, that's
Saying
what. That's
Kit's
right.
working,
That's
she's
what
at
she said.
Comic-Con.
Have a
Yeah.
fun Comic-Con and a safe one, and keep Trevor out of trouble, will ya?
Yep.
We'll see you later.